Okay, so this video is on something called discontinuities. To understand discontinuities, you probably should understand what continuity looks like, right? So if you had a graph that you were able to draw without picking up your pencil, that would be considered continuous. So that it could be curvy, it could be a line, it could be an absolute value. Those are all continuous because I can draw them without picking up my pencil. But this one that I'm looking at right here is discontinuous because of that hole, right? There's a hole in it, which means to draw it, I'd have to pick up my pencil at that point. So it's called a point discontinuity. Okay, take a look at this one. This is also considered to be discontinuous. You've graphed these before. This is called a jump discontinuity. Jump. And again, if I grab sort of a highlighter and take a look at this, you can see that if I'm drawing, at this point I have to jump to a new location. That's why it's called a jump discontinuity. All right, and then this one, this is called an infinite discontinuity. Let me write that up for you. Infinite discontinuity. And the reason is if I'm trying to trace this with my highlighter, I would never stop. This keeps going down and down and down and down and down forever. Likewise, this goes up and up and up and up and up forever. But at no point are they going to connect. I can't draw the whole red graph without picking up my pencil. All right, so that's what they look like as far as graphs. Now, you also have to be able to tell from an equation, all right? So I don't necessarily want you to graph this equation right here. You don't have to graph it. I would just want you to remember some stuff that you've already learned in this class, right? To graph this, you know that you need to first factor it. All right, and hopefully you remember if there's a common factor, that means there's a hole. Right? If there's a hole in your graph, that's considered to be a point discontinuity. Okay, so take a look at this equation. Okay, the second one. I'll switch colors for you. So on this one in red, there isn't a hole, right? That doesn't factor, but this does have, if you remember, it has a vertical asymptote, right? It has a dotted line going up and down, which means that this is going to have an infinite discontinuity. Infinite. All right, and then this last one that I'll do in blue, right? This is a piecewise function, right? You've learned about piecewise functions already in this class. Sometimes these will be jump discontinuities, and sometimes they'll actually be continuous. It kind of depends on what this looks like. Now, you don't have to have a great picture, okay? Just maybe a horrible little sketch. But you can tell that something's happening when x equals 3. All right, so let's take a look. Let me get rid of some of this real quick. Okay, so this top equation right here, this is a line, right? It's a line and it happens to the right of 3, okay? It's a line. I don't know exactly what happens. I just know it has a positive slope, an intercept of -1. Maybe it looks something like that. This to the left of 3 is a parabola, okay? It's a parabola somewhere over here, something like that. The question is, does this point match up with this point? And the way to tell is by plugging in 3. So when I plug 3 in here, I get 2. And when I plug 3 in here, I get 9. Those are not the same number. So there definitely is some sort of a jump that is happening. All right, so again, you don't have to graph perfectly, but maybe a little sketch could help you determine whether it's a point, infinite, or jump discontinuity.